I kind of went almost my entire childhood without ever really giving it a second thought. It was just go to the grocery store and buy some hamburger.
I became vegetarian as my little way of helping the planet, and then started eating meat again, also to help the planet because I want to support the people who are trying to make these changes.
As I was learning more, I wanted to support these small farmers, but I couldn't really afford their products for the most part.
I wasn't actually on the ground doing anything that would help me or future generations.
Once I decided to start raising it myself, I was like, well, why not just go a little bit bigger and just start a farm then?
Will you do chickens and then just come catch up with us? I'm Annaliese Dankers, and I work with my partner Danny Dunlap, and we run a regenerative livestock homestead farm. We raise pork and duck eggs and chicken eggs, and we rotate all of our livestock weekly, if not more often, and it builds the soil. At the end of the day, we're soil farmers. We are working to reverse climate change using animals, which is counterintuitive to what a lot of people have been taught, including myself when I was younger. So it is quite a 180. Never thought of it that way. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Come on, Kiss. Get up here before she does. Good boy. Okay, today we're officially moving the lambs. We gotta start a Home Depot list too, just because we need...
Fire alarms.
What do we need? We need more fire alarms?
Yeah, I told you. I replaced 2 of them yesterday and I took 3 out.
Fire alarms. We're only in year 2 of our farming operations as in an official capacity. We knew it would be hard to make money for a while, and I'd say I felt prepared for that coming in, but also it's different when you're actually living it, and every day you're like, am I allowed to swear? Probably not. Shit, I gotta feed all these animals, and so I need money for that, but also, how are we gonna house them? Wood prices are through the roof. There's a difference between when we started it and knew we wouldn't make money, but living it, it's different. It's harder. Work on keepo table. I want to try to seed those pigs. The margins are technically negative right now because all of the money we're spending is just going right back into the farm as infrastructure. Within a few months, one of us will find a serious 8 to 5 type job or something that just pays incredibly well for not 8 to 5. And do that and throw a lot of that money into the farm till we are soluble, which will be a while. No businesses make money in the first couple of years.
Hey, don't chew on shoelaces.
We make our money with off-farm jobs, sometimes part-time, sometimes full-time.
Sometimes those jobs are on other farms, not making much money, but learning. Sometimes those jobs are 9 to 5, where I'm just going and making a decent amount of money, but I don't get that much time to work on the farm. But luckily, we're able to save up enough where I can now spend a full-time season here. Come winter, I'll have to pick up another job again, probably full-time.
By then, one of us will have to find a serious job. Not just my part-time goat dairy. And maybe we don't know yet if that'll be our norm.
It's not what I want the norm to be, though. The norm, yeah. I want us to be full-time here.
Yeah, we just won't be there for a while. We'll get there.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a big year.
I think so, too. When people look at a small farm from the outside, they see the beauty first, which is great. They are beautiful, but it takes a lot of work.
Sadness with your rain boots in blue. Fuck. Since I can remember, I've been running from you. But this time you sat your ass down with no intent to move. You ain't no
Beauty. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Good to go.
Oh boy. Are we going this way? Okay. Good try, Bean.
It is one of the shitty jobs on the farm. I get it. It's shit that we're moving. There aren't that many young people like us coming in and trying to start a business because of land access issues, because of funding issues, because it's really hard work. It's not the glamorous lifestyle that it's really kind of made out to be on social media and whatnot. I kind of went almost my entire childhood without ever really giving it a second thought. Which is strange because I grew up fishing and I grew up hunting. But it was just go to the grocery store and buy some hamburger. When I was in college, I started researching more and more and learned about CAFO's, concentrated animal feed operations, the really large warehouses full of chickens and the huge feedlots of cows where most of the animals in the grocery store are living under. Decided that I wanted to support these small farmers, so I found the little local farmers market. Was astonished at how much more the meat costs there. That's initially where I started wanting to raise my own meat, was because I couldn't afford it. We go on deliveries once a week. We stole the concept from milk deliveries. One of our main goals for the farm is to try not to price people out. Unfortunately, when you can go to the grocery store and get $2 dozen eggs, we can't compete with that. We got into this idea that stuff should be so cheap. Realistically, it shouldn't. It's only so cheap because the government is subsidizing it and the animals are living in horrid conditions. So when people see the real cost of food and what it costs farmers like me to actually raise their product, it kind of floors them because that's not what they expected. Like when I tell people that I'm barely making money on $7 a dozen, I think some people just think that I'm lying, like that I'm not telling the truth. But that's just what it costs to pasture raise chickens and buy high quality feed.
It is all about perspective, what we've been taught to expect. When you walk into a grocery store, you expect to be able to buy eggs for, I don't even know, $3 a dozen. But what you don't see when you pay those $3 is all of the people and animals that are getting gypped along the way. All of the people who are not getting paid living wages, animals who are not being fed proper nutrition or are living in cages. There are so many caveats behind that $3. We aren't even organic. Organic feed is astronomical. If we sold our eggs for $2 a dozen, we would not be around in a year.
Sometimes, during very intense dreams, I'll twitch my front paws, and it looks like I'm conducting the world's fluffiest orchestra. Like, you don't know what an orchestra is, you're a dog.
Oh my gosh. We do this once a week. The process is pretty simple. We take down all these green fences. Gonna move our trailer one spot to the west here. And just like that, 50,000 square feet of new pasture. It's both good for them. They're able to forage through new grass, find new bugs, and it's great for our pasture as well. They continue spreading fertilizer over all of the grass.
Good morning, mamas. You can see that they've mowed this grass for us. So, regenerative in two ways. They're mowing the grass for us, so we're saving gas, and then they're also stimulating the grass by mowing it.
It kind of works both ways, right? Animals can be detrimental or they can be extremely beneficial. If we were to leave these chickens here for months on end, there wouldn't be any more grass, there wouldn't be anything. That's a detriment. But the way we rotationally graze and move our animals around, you're actually helping fight climate change.
Hello, girls. Hi. Good morning.
Growing up, I didn't even know that there were small farms that did it right. It was probably around 7th or 8th grade when I first watched one of those uber dramatic documentaries made by PETA or somebody where every animal is dying and there's sad Sarah McLachlan music in the background and there is some information, but it's mostly emotional.
What'd you think of?
So it was go vegetarian and stop eating meat because all meat is bad. And from then on, I started to pay attention to food a little bit more. The whole reason I became vegetarian was environmental. I thought raising animals was bad for planet Earth. And then started eating meat again, also to help the planet because I want to support the people who are trying to make these changes. It came with more education that we need animals in our ecosystem. Basically, every year that the grass grows, its root system grows in tandem. If you can picture a tree and its entire canopy, the root system of that tree is almost a mirror. Well, when you bring an animal over the grass and it takes half of it, half of those roots kind of slough off, and that carbon in those roots, some of it becomes locked in the soil.
You're pulling CO2 out of the air via photosynthesis, putting it down into the soil. That's regenerative agriculture in a nutshell. But then getting the animals off and letting the plants heal, anywhere from 3 to 12 months, so that the plants can regrow that root system and you can repeat the process. Overgrazing is basically turning the soil barren, which then windstorms come in and blow your topsoil away, and that's all your carbon going up in the dust storm. So by moving their feeders around every day, we can kind of direct where their poop is going, and therefore how and where our fields are getting fertilized, which is great for us.
We're not just raising them to nourish us, they're nourishing the land while they're on it for 2 to 3 years. We're building our land using animals that we then eat and enjoy and help nourish us, instead of ignoring that animals exist at all and are an important part of the ecosystem because it's kind of scary to think about killing them. Raising something for slaughter. Butchery is a really hard day. We don't talk a lot. You form this relationship with this animal, and this is just the next step. But it is a weird power when you kill an animal that is a reminder of how fragile life is and how valuable life is. This animal that we have raised, that we have cared for, the cycle continues, and they care for us by feeding our bodies and our muscles so that we can do that for their offspring.
Being able to raise close to 100% of the meat that I consume is really a blessing. I can look out any number of the windows in my house and see exactly where the majority of my meals came from, which is a really cool feeling.
It, for me, is the long-term approach to a healthy life, to the longevity of life, and a good mental health. I will save money in the long run by buying that more expensive bird because it's not pumped full of antibiotics that I would eventually become resistant to when I end up in the hospital someday. When you pay the true price of food, you don't see the benefits for years. You don't see what it does for your local economy, for your health, for up to decades. Human nature is to think in the short term. That's probably one of the biggest challenges of farmers, is that they would have to pay more and they don't see the detriment to paying less until maybe ever. The same thing with climate change. They say we can still change it now, but it's not going to affect us the way it's going to 2 generations down. That is very challenging for human nature. I don't have a good answer to that one. I don't know what we need in that.
It's just interesting because you guys did change.
Yeah.
And like, how do you both had changes in the way that you think about what you eat?
I mean, my values changed from those PETA documentaries. I paid more attention to what I ate. So they did their job in that way. But I kept asking questions. Maybe that's the difference. I think the most important thing is that we're trying. We might look back on this system we have right now and in 10 years and hate it. That's just part of living. If you get set in your ways and you never change, are you ever happy? Are you ever living to your fullest potential?
I'm sure there are problems in this world that I don't know about and haven't decided to learn about because I'm busy dealing with 30 other things. It's a lifelong learning process.
Realistically, we need to feed 320 million people in this country. We're not going to do it via small farms yet.
I'm trying to be better about it, just moving stuff from the savings over.
And there's just so many Home Depot trips to finish projects.
We're in a weird in-between thing where we have enough money right now to keep living our lives and paying our employee and paying for animal feed, but there's not enough coming in yet from egg sales and pork. I definitely am afraid we won't make it, or that we will have to change how we're doing it in order to make it. That we will have to either sacrifice a value here or there or a dream that we have of what this place will look like in order to somehow make it.
They're so freaking cute.
If we ever want to have a kid, which we do, we can't afford a human child right now. I go into those spirals a lot of the time.
In the short term, yeah, I'll have like little miniature panic attack things. But yeah, big picture, it seems like a no-brainer to me that it's gonna be successful.
There's no choice but to be optimistic.
Mamas, are you out in the field? Hi, Mama. Are your udders just super full?
Part of my optimism is that we, two suburban kids from different parts of the U.S., could build a farm with no knowledge before being 18, of knowing what we're doing and learning it ourselves. If we can be even just part of that light drawing people towards regenerative ag or towards a healthier future, that's why I'm doing it. That's the optimism right there. Do try. If you don't try, like, why are you living? I mean, to anyone watching this or to anyone who cares about farming in general, like, just do one little thing. And don't be afraid to ask a stupid question or to try a weird vegetable you've never seen that's at the farmer's market. Do try.
Their purchasing power is huge. Just supporting them monetarily if you can. Talking to your neighbors and your friends about the type of food that gets you excited.
There are life-changing things that happen when you pay attention to your food, when you pay attention to the people who work their asses off to help feed you. And it's wonderful and it's enriching and all of the good things. There are no bad things when it comes to connecting with your farmers. Should I stand on an actual soapbox now? Jesus. I just have all these values and they come out all cheesy.